Hello everyone, and welcome to another past life reading. We're going to take a little trip here down soul memory lane. I feel like we're going to look at, or I'm drawn to do a reading looking at something that you're struggling with now, sort of in this lifetime. And we'll go back in time here with your guardian angels to another time in your soul life, another period where you had maybe a similar struggle. And I say similar because obviously, modern times, our lifestyles, the world is different, but it's similar in that, if you're currently struggling with a workplace issue in the past life that we'll go to for you, there may have been a struggle with at work, at whatever profession you had. So it is a pick a card. I'm using the same deck, so for whatever reason, I thought I'd throw on a gem or a stone here. See if that helps you kind of tune in. So I am an organic reader. So if you want to pause the video, you can pause it now. I don't know why I laid it down. I don't know if that's going to help you make the decision, but go ahead and pause the video now. I am going to timestamp below so you can skip ahead. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and just put these ones aside for our future groups who are tuning into those two cards. And we'll start with our card here, your card. Maybe I'll put it over here. The stone means nothing. Maybe I'll just use that to hold the card up when we tune into it and see, what's the similar struggle or maybe a general theme of a struggle that connects all of you guys on that card. So let's go with the charms first to see where we're going here. What struggle are you having now that you've experienced before? So let's see where the angels are going to take us for you. And what kind of struggle maybe. There was movement over here, so let's see if I can find it. I don't know if it's this power struggle. I feel something in this yellow circle here, so let's see where this wants to. Scientific award, so that just means achievement. Maybe and I was drawn to power. Maybe you're struggling with somebody else getting recognition. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go with struggle. Maybe that's the common thematic, is struggling with not getting recognized for your worth, for what you're doing. Whoa, lots over here. Okay. I haven't even gone around the rest of the chart yet. Oh, we got movement here on strength. Or maybe it's this dominating figure. Yeah. Okay. So power, authority seems to be coming out here clearly as a main thematic. Seasonal change, invention. So here we go again with scientific award. So knowledge. Maybe you're not being recognized for your expertise, your knowledge, your opinions, what you have to offer, your creativity. Okay. My phone just went off a few times there, so that must be hitting the right note there. Okay. Oh, there we go. Well, we got some youth there, or children. Could be it's passion, so it could be a lifelong dream, a lifelong passion that's being affected now. I was going to turn, but I think it's pointing at the dates here where we're going, which is from 1 to 100 AD, that kind of century, that first century in AD. I think that's how AD works. AD counts upwards, yeah. BC counts downwards. Okay. History, fun. All right, let's get some clarity cards, some companion cards to help explain further. Where are we at in history, in this past life? Who were you? What was the struggle? going to confuse myself if I put that up there. So, wow. Okay, my phone is really going off, so I wonder if it's connected to the group charms up here. A lot going on over here. Okay. Excited to get into the past lives, Akashic records. All right, so we're just gonna quiet the phone down. Sorry, everyone. Just make sure, for whatever reason, it's going off, so with some excitement. Okay, let me just quickly take your group number 1 timestamp and then we'll jump in. Okay, let's see. What's the main connector here in the soul journey for all of us drawn to the first card here, the 6 of Pentacles? If you weren't part of the preamble and you just jumped ahead to your messages, I was talking about recognition for ideas, recognition for creativity, invention, your worth. And that's what I kind of see you holding on display here, right? You're showing all kind of 6 dimensions of yourself here, and it's the Pentacles, so worth. You know, here's everything that I have to offer you. I'm putting it on display for you here. So I wonder if that'll, oh, that might sit up nicely if I can get the camera to focus. If I turn the stone around, get a flat side. There we go. You know, use my creativity, use my use my brilliance, right? Try it a different way. Okay. So showing, you're reminding, you're showing, hey, these are my ideas. You know, this is what I gave you. Here's everything I have to offer. So let's see. Where are we going in history where you had a similar situation of showing your value, communicating your value, what you have to offer? All right, so I'm going to start up here where my very clear directional point A to B, you're very clear in communicating here. Hey, this is me. These are my ideas. So that's what I'm seeing here as well. Very clear in that communication, at least in your mind, in your heart. You know exactly, you know, what is yours, what was your craft. And so again, in the preamble, I was drawn to the first century AD here, year 1 to 100, as the time period that they're pointing at when you had this similar, right? We're going from present day back into the past. Oh, whoa, and it just flew back into the past. So that's where we just traveled. Our angels have taken us to 1st century AD. Oop. And I will try to stop fussing here and hitting everything. Okay. So we have here records memory. So writing down in history. And there's recovery, forgiveness, apology here. This could be a past hurt, a past issue that you're re-experiencing in this life to see if you can achieve this, right? Achieve this feeling of recovery, letting go of the hurt, feeling seen, right? This is the friendship bear, and I was saying that. Hey, those were my ideas. Hey, this is me. Hey, this is me. And then here you are being seen. You know, you're being given the flower, the bouquet of flowers. So we're heading down memory lane here, which is funny because in the intro I said that. We're going down soul memory lane. What's this? Language and words, right? Sort of the time period here of developing language, getting your words. Maybe that's what you're struggling with. Getting the right words, the confidence to speak up. If this is a time period when language was still kind of in its infancy here. I'm holding the Bambi here, the deer, about being on wobbly legs, being nervous, tentative, shy, scared, naive, and it was sitting on words. So I'm gonna say this is like a fear to speak up, or you know, maybe you're someone like me or all of us, right? We phrase things in one way in our minds emotionally, as I see how emotional this is, the blue on the tile. And then we struggle with, well, how do we say the appropriate words, right? And we do have the searcher dog here. And he was pointing at discovery. And I'm drawing more to discovery because we have scientific award, discovery, and I think there was something else that we were hitting that was all about science, invention, ideas. I don't know if someone's stealing your ideas because you're looking, right? You're trying to discover the right words, the right language to put together to kind of claim it. You know, you want the recognition. You want the bouquet of flowers here. And it's not the first time this has happened to you in this lifetime. Like, again, I'm going to the multiple. Like, hey, where's my recognition? You know, why wasn't my name put on the award submission? I was a lead on the project. You know, why aren't you recognizing my contributions to the household? Like, hey, I did this. That was my idea to knock down that wall, and everybody says what a beautiful open concept. So why are you taking all the credit for this, right? There seems to be that feeling there. And then the angels are saying yes. We have a yes on top of that as an answer. So I feel like, yes, you will find the right words here. Yeah, let's go into the cards. I don't think any of the other charms are connected to this first message. Look at the confidence. You're exuding confidence here. You got the wealth, abundance here with the foliage. Sorry, I was struggling with the word. The wrong word was coming to my head. And then you also have the green healing, right? Blue and green, so emotional healing. Finding the right words, you have the power to do it. And look at the big change that you ignite. And you're kind of breaking. See how the building breaks away? So it's like the soul lesson, right? We're coming back to a similar time, a period where you had a similar struggle. So this is your chance to conquer, right? Recognition, award, universal check mark on learning this lesson of speaking up, protect your ideas, speak up for your opinions, speak up for the recognition you're due to make sure everybody knows, hey, that was my product, that was my value, that was my worth that I put into this, and I want to be recognized for that. It doesn't have to be work. Like I said, it could be your contribution in a household, your contribution on any kind of team, your contribution in the neighborhood, to the community. But it's finding your words to get that recognition, get the apology from everyone and the recognition. Okay. So we have this dominating figure here. Also, the charm is touching on endurance. Well, we know you've obviously have endured here, right? I said multiple times this has happened to you in this present period. So we have an authoritative figure here. Dominating just means they're a significant figure in this scenario. Endurance, but they have to ask for help. So I don't know if they actually want you to ask this sort of authoritative figure. It could be a mentor, it could be a life coach or coach, you know, could be someone in the same field, could just be an associate, but they, you know, they hold an authoritative title or an expertise that can help you with kind of your approach here on how to speak up, how to speak out, how to find your words, how to formulate your words. Look where the path is taking you here. right? You make the decision to reach out and ask for help in this scenario, right? This is a struggle you don't have to do on your own if they're telling you to ask for help. And when you make that decision, right, you go make the decision to follow the path of asking for help, look at the wealth that comes in again. They keep informing you of the change in your environment, the change in your feelings. You're going to feel recognized. Look, she's, looks like her crown on her head, showing off her gown. This can also represent that figure, right? Kind of has a queen energy to it with an authoritative figure. So it could be the matriarch or the patriarch in your family, right? Grandma, grandpa, whoever that is, mom, dad, aunt, uncle. Could be a cousin. It could be an in-law. It could be the wife of someone. But follow this this sort of mentor's lead here for you. Reach out and speak to this expert. Speak to this authority on the matter. Help formulate your words here. I could see probably why in the 1st century AD that may have been something you wouldn't wanted to have done. You wouldn't wanted to maybe approach a authoritative figure then. They're bringing me to the north with sort of a foundation that's not quite complete yet. The solid footing's not quite there. Maybe that's what you feel with the coming back to our Bambi there, the infancy and footing. But north means, like, for me, guiding star. Follow your intuition. To a more stable place. Follow your intuition down this path, right? That takes you to this help. And you are going to have to take the first step if you're going to achieve recognition, if you're going to achieve what it is you need, whatever form of recognition that is for you. You are going to have to take that first step. Just kind of thinking about it or fuming about it or venting about it, it's not going to take you anywhere. You are going to have to put your foot forward, kind of put your foot down on the matter. Claim it, right? Claim your power. And we see celebration on that, similar to here, right? When you claim your power, the angels are celebrating you. This is abundance and wealth and life as well. So a significant change, significant impact to lifestyle. We see that here, sort of this glow up, claiming your power, claiming your ideas. And then there's this new passion in the intro. This is all about connecting back to a passion or an interest. I'm connecting more to children as in childhood. So, something that you've just always loved. It's just part of you. It's part of your value system. It's part of part of your interest, part of what gets you going. So once you claim your power, because you already love your ideas here, you're kind of reigniting your passion here. A childhood dream, a lifelong dream, kind of setting out on that path. Maybe recognition is something that you dream of, that you desire, that you want, which is not bad. I think there's nothing wrong with individuals wanting that, because it balances individuals like myself, right? We kind of need both. Okay, let's see what we're going over here. So we have palaces, so we have opulence, and we have first civilization. Well, we see that here. We're in the 1st century. It's not the first civilization, but it's the 1st century AD. So a lot of firsts as it relates to those civilizations. So we're coming back to sort of this scientific ideas, inventions. That's why I was there. Kind of seasonal change and invention was calling to me, but the charms didn't land there. Maybe you're the first to come up with an idea, right? Maybe it's your intellectual property. There we go. I was just trying to get the actual words for IP. You know, maybe you need to lock down a patent. You know, patents didn't really exist back then, at least not in our modern day sense of a patent. So what couldn't you do back then? I already said potentially you couldn't approach an individual with a higher title, you know, maybe that type of conversation, you know, open door policy back in 1 to 100 AD wasn't existent, but it is now. In order for you to chase this recognition that you need, that you deserve, right? The transparency of you being the first, right? You're the inventor, it's your idea. You know, bring forward your paperwork that shows that. Because I've been wanting to say patent, IP, so you must have emails, some kind of originating sketch, right? If it's your idea. So not only find your words, and maybe this is what some of the advice your expert will give you here, but where's your transparency, right? Transparency on, it was your idea, I participated, that came from me. Ooh, now there is a caution. I apologize, the little pig just went under the desk, so I won't go get it. But I apologize because the little pig means indulgence, kind of gluttony. So don't, just a bit of caution to make sure that, and maybe that's where you struggle, you don't want to come across egotistic, but protecting your IP is not egotistic, right? So you need to change your perspective on that. That's what the bat means. You know, change your perspective. And maybe that's why you've been holding back, right? You want to claim it, but you think if I do, I'm going to look boastful. You know, I'm going to be taken the wrong way. But again, palaces, there's so much benefit to you, so much healing to you to claim your ideas here. Yeah, look at you. You're holding it. You're claiming it. Your intuition is your soul, right? We're traveling to the Akashic records here, right? So as we exit the records, you're taking away the learning here, the message from your soul. It's okay to claim it. You're not coming from a place of ego, right? Look at all this heart and passion and creative idea, the auric hues. You're coming from a place of good intention. And when it's a place of good intention to protect yourself, to not let others take your power, take your ideas, it's okay to do. So sort of lesson there, right? Don't let somebody else claim your passion. This is your lifelong dream. It's your power. So yours to have there, group 1. So hopefully that was helpful for you. I'm just going to do a quick look for the piggy here as you just kind of, you can tune into your cards, take away any other messages that you might see that I may have missed. Okay, there we go. Probably a lot of noise for you. All right, if you weren't drawn to the other 2 cards, thank you for traveling with me today. It's always fun to go into the Akashic Records. That was a great lesson. I'll probably just take it myself anyways. It's always a good lesson to learn. Don't let anybody take your power from you, right? Take your ideas from you. Claim something that's not theirs to claim, right? That's the message. Okay. All right, so those of you who were drawn to the second card here, maybe it was the gemstone as well that you were drawn to. So what we're going to do is get the charms, then we'll look at what the card is, but we'll also get cards with the charms. But we'll start with the charms here first. Okay. Where are we going to in the past when you had a similar issue, similar challenge, similar struggle that you're kind of dealing with now? Interesting, right on the Black Death there. Similar to our COVID experience, right, that we all lived through in our generation. see what else we're going here. It is also touching 100 Years War there, so it could be just longevity, length of time, right? Something that has been spanning a few years now since I referenced COVID. I'm just going over again because they haven't given me a time period yet. Here we go. Looks like we're going into sort of the start of communications there, the hieroglyphs. Oh, that one fell off. I'll get it because it's meant to be on here. And I just feel a little bit more movement over here. Construction. Anything else? Okay. So that's interesting to get construction. They are making me push that back to Great Divide. So we have construction, Great Divide. We've got the Egyptian hieroglyphs here. So 3200 to 2200 BC, which is the start of sort of record keeping, start of language. Similar to the first group, we went to a place where language and words and record keeping was important. Sorry, I am struggling with a neck injury here, so I'm just feeling where they wanted this one to go. Western, okay. Yeah, so kind of the start of kind of record keeping, but I'm getting more drawn to Egypt here. Egypt during the 3200 to 2200 BC, construction period, and then a long period of time as well. You know what? Maybe it was just a long period in Egypt. You know, I don't have extensive Egyptian history knowledge, but maybe there was a long duration. You know, it says 100 Years War, but maybe there was a 100+ period of just ongoing wars. I know during Cleopatra's time, right, the Roman Empire was growing, so warring. But we also have Black Death was a period as well. So length of time here, something that you've endured over a length of time, seems to be a key message. Okay, let's see how the cards want to companion or accompany. I don't know why I said companion. Maybe this has to do with a companion. Maybe the starting to tune into the struggle. The struggle is with a coworker, maybe a partner, companion, a friend. Okay. I'm just tuning in here, seeing kind of where we're going for this trip. All right. Let's kick off with the main card that we were drawn to, card number 2. They're really pulling me into sort of the chakra area, right, for alignment. So I'm feeling right now like your heart space kind of feels out of alignment right now in terms of overall health and well-being. So if I look at all kind of 8 dimensions of self, your love, happiness, joy center isn't in alignment right now. They're kind of drawing me in here, pulling me into love, relationship. Maybe that's why I brought up Cleopatra, right? She's not only is she a queen, but she is a famous love story, right? So maybe we're heading into a love story. Are you having a little bit of a relationship struggle here? Partnership. Okay, where do we want to start? I'm kind of getting pulled between these 2 hearts, but I'm going to go down here first. So we have Great Divide and construction with love and family legacy. So in terms of companion partner, this would be a family member. If it's not your partner, wife, husband, companion, common law partner, right? If it's not your significant other, it's a family member. And there's two sides to every story here. Obviously deep love, so that's how I know it's a kind of a family member relationship type connection here, right? Someone you consider family, so it could be a best friend as well, just someone you consider family. Someone you see often and a lot, confide in, but there's a split between you. There could be a distance between you because we have the longevity here. Great divide, distance. So maybe there's something between you, but there's something, I feel like there's either been silence between you or physical distance as well as the silence. But there's two sides to the story here. With regards to construction, obviously we need to work at relationships. But I feel like this is going to be something you're going to have to build back. I don't know. The two sides to every story, I feel like there's trust here, or your two perspectives, while both correct, are what's hitting head to head. That's what's causing the rift. You know, their version of events, your version of events, both equally correct, but there's silence here. So there's no talking about it. So you're just kind of sitting in, they think one way, you think one way, right? Maybe you had an experience and they've experienced one, they believe it to have been one way, and you're saying no, it wasn't. But it's causing this break here. Now, sitting on Western, there's a decision to be made here. But when they're pulling me to Western, I'm hearing the saying Western wind. You know, the breeze is coming from the west. You know, the Western wind usually pushes things, right? So your angels here are trying to push you on this decision. You know, you can't sit in the silence. I think the decision is, you know, am I going to be willing to heal by talking to them, and let's come back together here. Let's eliminate our divide. Let's share each of our sides of the story. Or are you going to let fate, right? This is a wheel. So you're going to let the wheel of fate turn, do a full rotation on you, and it's going to be the Western wind, right? It's going to blow. It's going to push this relationship down the next path based on your decision or indecision here, right? So you got an option here. Are you going to be the Western wind, or are you going to let the wheel of fate be it? Look at the indecision. I just talked about that. And here they are with the wand. You know, your past life. If this is a time when you had a similar struggle, I feel like you made the decision to fix this, right? This is like the fairy godmother, right? Bibbidi bobbidi boop, magical wand, right? You decided to take an action. You decided to make a change. You know, I could see you contemplating here, but you decided to do something about it. So we're going back to a time, it looks like, when you had a similar struggle, but you did something about it. So let's see what the outcome was then. Probably positive. I don't see why. Well, you know, as I say that, why wouldn't the angels actually show us a time where you took action, but maybe it was an inappropriate action for the scenario? And I'm saying that because there's a lot of blue here. So an emotional space, when we're emotionally driven, we can say the wrong things, right? That's what I mean by inappropriate. We can react. We can be really reactive. Maybe that's what you were. As they pull me back to this magical wand, maybe you were too quick to respond, kind of touching everywhere. They're pulling me back to Egypt and the hieroglyphs. Maybe you were too quick to kind of chisel out the story, right? To record the record what happened and move on, versus reconnect with the person and talk to them about the story, versus telling others. Maybe you were telling others versus resolving it with them. So that's what I mean by potentially wrong action. So then we have endurance here. I've already been talking about kind of length of time. So you've been kind of enduring, sitting in this space for a while. And you haven't been talking about it with the Bambi here. You're holding back. So your endurance is really just you delaying things. You're just holding back. You're staying reserved. You're not moving forward, as I see here with the sloth. Nothing's resolved. Nothing's moved forward, but nothing's resolved. You're not feeling better about it. We see that here. They're unaware. We see that here. And you're just hanging, right? You're just sitting in this emotional state. You're just sitting there. And you did that back then, back in this period, in this past life. You did the same thing. You just sat in your emotions. And then you reacted emotionally, as we saw over here. So this is sitting on decline. It says decline of a civilization, but I'm really just focusing on decline because the heart is shrinking here, right? We were talking about your heart space. Heart space. So you're like falling out of love, falling out of trust, falling out of like, right? You're sitting in this emotional area. So this is something that has come between you and someone you love deeply, and it's withdrawing the love here. You're losing love in that area without taking action, without making this decision. So I wonder what's going to happen if that, wheel of fate wind blows with this declining love. Okay. I feel like the peacock here is looking very angrily, very, very angry and frustrated at this individual. So I don't know if that's what this is. And I'm getting the feeling like, why can't they see? Like, why don't they just know? Why can't they tell? Maybe they're not picking up on your signs in this lifetime. They didn't pick up on your subtle cues back in the previous lifetime, and they're not picking up on your cues in this lifetime. So maybe that was what you were doing here with your magical wand. You were leaving them hints, leaving them cues, dropping hints in conversation, right? I was saying, sketching it out on the, like chiseling it out, right? So you left them notes, you left them signs, but they didn't see them. So they're not seeing them now either. So you can't just rely on your signs. You're going to have to talk. You can't just drop subtle hints here. They're missing them. They're not catching them. So I can see why this is continuously declining, because you're getting continuously frustrated about the scenario, because you're like, why can't they see? Why can't they tell what they've done here? Why don't they know? That's what I kind of keep hearing you saying. Okay. So sitting on power is balance. This is a balance of power. And I Love Soccer is all about self. So I would say this is a balance of emotions, but also maybe a balance of power dynamic in this relationship. I was getting family. So if it is parent and child, could be siblings as well. It could be an offset like power dynamic in personalities even, right? We all fall under different zodiac signs. We have different personalities that we develop also through experiences. So you could be struggling with a power dynamic. You're also struggling with head over heart. Again, you love this person. You dislike what they did. And that's why you're struggling, right? You're flip-flopping. You haven't made your decision yet. You're struggling. And then we have no movement. You've taken no action yet on closing this distance. It is sitting on war, so we know that this is a fight, an argument, a disagreement, not seeing on the same page with this person. And they gave us Black Death. So this could be physically harming you as well. Sort of the weight of this emotionally could be making you tired, for example. Or you're always in an angry mood and you can't shake it. You can't get into a happy mood. So that's sort of a physical display there on your health. Okay. So look what happens when you reset the balance. Look how happy the two of you are. So there is a message here from your angels. I know these are mountains, but they look like angel wings. Message from your angels here to learn from your past and don't be reactive emotionally. Don't just sit and let the wheel of fate turn, because look what happened. You brought the same kind of struggle into this life, right? So you get the opportunity here to right the balance. So please have a conversation, go out for coffee, have a chat, talk on the phone, whatever it is, message each other. But I feel like a face-to-face is going to be much better because there's two sides to the story. You need to be able to see each other, right? So that you're not misinterpreting. Maybe that was the issue in the first place. Maybe you misread. But if you regain this balance through conversation, talk it out, it's going to be over time. I don't think it's immediate, but it's possible in this lifetime to find this balance, conquer this lesson, and maybe not bring it forward into the next soul life if you don't want to. If your soul wants to, it still will. But please try to restore the balance. And it's really emotional. There's so much blue hue. I cannot but say that this is definitely an emotional hurt. It's in the heart with someone you love that needs to be resolved, please. Okay, so I will see you at the next past life reading. If you weren't tuned into the third card, otherwise let's jump in. Let's get all set up. So group number 3, trip number 3 into our soul's memory lane. All right, let's put those aside. Get the cards back. All right. Oh, this rock might not be the... There we go. Okay, so group number 3. Sorry, I just squeezed my finger between my chair armrest and the keyboard tray. Damn it. Okay. We're gonna get the triumphs first. See where we're going. See what similar challenge or struggle that you're facing right now. You did before in a previous lifetime. Maybe there will be learnings from what you did or didn't do. So far it's been learnings of what you didn't do last time and what you can do this time. So maybe we'll get the same helpful insights here. I think my page is too close to the edge of the desk this time. Okay, busy down here in the bottom. Just gonna see. Oh, okay. Wow, busy group. Lots to say for you guys. So I wonder what this struggle is. I'm gonna take away what they've discarded here. Nope, they don't want that one. Okay. Just tuning in as well when I kind of feel them all out here. These two are sitting on top of each other. Destiny, clairvoyance, interesting. And I know I had a charm. Oh yes, okay. Okay, I'm just gonna go over the chart with this one. Kind of fell down here, didn't it? Maybe it was trying to give us the time period, because I don't think we have a time period yet. No, let's see. It must be down here somewhere. Middle Ages or AD. Oh, okay. I'll take 300 to 500 AD, because that's kind of what the bird is looking at here. Okay. So now we got our time period. So we're going to, oh, you know what? We were in the 1st century AD, and now we're in the, or the first 100 years, I should say. Yeah, the first 100 years. And now we're in 300s to 500s AD. Okay. Let's get some additional cards for clarity, and then we'll jump into your reading. Flip these ones around. Okay. Trying to tune in to get a sense of what your struggle is. It's not coming as quickly as the last 2 readings. So I'll be interested to see what the main thematic is up here. Just seeing if they want any other cards. Okay. Let's dive into the main thematic here. Let's see what we're getting. I wonder if that's why I can't really pick up what we're looking back on, because I can't see into this pit here, right? I can't see into the future. I wonder if that's what your struggle is right now. You're absent of any kind of foresight here. We saw the clairvoyance, the destiny, but I'm getting future. Like, you don't know what the future holds. You can't vision it. You can't see it. Maybe that's your struggle. You're feeling stuck with the what's next. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's out there for me. I don't know what's next here. And you had a similar experience here in this kind of 200-year period, 300 to 500 AD. This was a key period for international trade. It was also a key period for sort of religious law to come about. Maybe this kind of not knowing where the world's going, because, you know, kind of modernization here at that time period with the international trades, laws, religion playing into laws, rebellion still happening, right, with the war, especially with international trade. Now you have new people, new things. So, like, where the heck is this going, right? Where is this going? I don't know where I'm going. But you're not exploring. I'm not getting explorer. Like, you're not part of the international trade as in, I'm excited to be out there and I can't wait to see what's out there. It's more of this dark void. You don't feel scared, you just feel unknowing, and that's what's bothering you. And I think that's why there's a lot of purple hue, right? Our intuition, we get it here. Clairvoyance, destiny. Starting with where you're at. On destiny, we have dream coming true, the start of something, which is repeated here in the flower, the start of something, but you already made decisions. So not knowing where you're going, I'm not sure why, because there's a decision you made where you're already into the ripple effect of that decision. So you should be able to see the ripple effect. I don't know why your clairvoyance seems to be turned off here for you, or the sense of it is. You feel like you can't see it, but you should be able to. Maybe in your dreams, can you, if you're having trouble kind of vision boarding right now, can you try to daydream or try to remember your waking dream tomorrow? But I feel like you're kind of on a predestined path here. So why it's closed off to you, I'm not sure. Okay, let's see what other charms are connected to this. Okay, well, let's go to the dream charm here. Oh, well, we got Traveler. You know what? I said I didn't feel like you were an adventurer, but we have Traveler here. Traveler. Traveling into the future, maybe? Maybe that's why I'm not connecting you to international trade, even though I keep going back there. Are you waiting for someone to come back? Are you waiting for the traveler to come back? So we have the dream here on that. Maybe that's what it is. You're dreaming of being someone else that you're not, right? Because I keep saying there's international trade, but you're not a traveler in this lifetime that we've traveled back to. But you're dreaming of being one, because this is new. This is when it just is beginning. It's a new world, right? International trade is flourishing, so it's all new. And maybe that's why you can't see it. It's a new world. And you dream of traveling there, but you're not moving forward. I don't know why you're not moving forward. You did make the decision here to go, but you've planted a seed. You've already made a decision in this lifetime that is going to have a ripple effect. So I feel like you're not going to be repeating history here. That's really what I feel the message is. With dream on top of the traveler. So in this lifetime, you dreamt about being a traveler, and you predestined with your soul before coming into this soul life that I'm not going to be the person that just dreams about traveling or dreams about pursuing a passion. I'm going to be the person that does it. That's going to be my predestined destiny. So you've already planned to kind of change your story here. So we have faith, so belief in self. We got our beautiful dove here as well, faith. And also winery. So winery is a project, right? It's your own business. Maybe that's something you dream about, your own business. Your soul purpose, right? Your soul purpose brings you peace and love. So have faith in yourself to be the creator, to bring your soul purpose to life. I don't think you need to rely on anybody in this lifetime. I think that's what you've already figured out, but maybe that's why you're lost. Maybe that's why you're sitting here. Okay, I've decided I'm gonna pursue my soul path. How do I get there? What's next? I need some help. And we've got a helper right here, but we have a spotlight on a decision. So we have self-starter harvests that it's touching on. So winery, harvest, self-starter, that all screams like small business, freelancer, going out on your own, right? Creating your own team, setting up your own shop. And they're shining a light on that decision. So maybe that's this decision. You made a decision to be a self-starter. You made a decision to embrace your uniqueness and strike out on your own. Last soul period, you didn't. You dreamt about it, but you didn't decide. This time you decided, right? They're shining a light on. You made the decision this time to be a self-starter. So this is a helper. This is also your soul. bringing in the Akashic Records, and we're in the Akashic Records. So this could just be your soul here traveling with us to say, you've unlocked some knowledge, right? You're the expert. You just had an aha moment. I am the expert. That's your aha moment. You are the expert. So what next is you are the expert. Why do you think you need to rely on someone else other than you? There's a hesitancy here to either keep going alone, like a sole proprietor, a freelancer, a consultant, or to actually start. So either continue going it alone or start, but so far the message feels like, yes, do that. Okay, let's see what the cards have to add. Oh, upside down. Yeah, look at you. Look at you taking the confidence to step forward. Look at the balance. You know, you've got a cool head. This is something you're passionate about. But here's the knowledge again as well. I just get so much knowledge coming forward. You know, I've got everything I need with all these stripes. I got all the tools I need here. Beautiful white tiger coming forward. Oh yeah, strength, right? You've got the strength, the courage, the bravery to do it. And look at you. You know, king of your castle here, master of your domain, master of your skill, your topic, your trade, whatever it is. I wonder why you don't see yourself as the expert. You're not, that feels like that's the struggle here. You're not recognizing yourself to be, you know, I am the one has mastered this. You know, maybe you don't recognize that you've achieved that level in this lifetime already, that you've already are the expert that you probably used to look up to, used to have to go to, learn from. Okay, I'm just trying to see how the charms are all working together here. So let's continue walking confidently here, okay? So in this lifetime, you made the decision, I'm going to walk confidently, be my self-starter. And he's walking towards buildings, megalithic buildings. You're building something huge. You know, this is going to be legacy. Look at elephant, huge animal, megalithic building, self-starter, huge turtle. Everything's big here. The monument, you know, you're onto something very important here. You're onto something good. And then we have my God, I'm struggling here. Then we have the fairy that's all looking down. She feels like she's lost. Same sentiment here. Sensation of lost. Why do I feel lost? She was sitting on Western medicine, herbs. That's, you know, naturopathic. That's definitely connected into this world of metaphysics, right? And in our world, in modern days, are considered different. In these days, it would be widely accepted, right? Alchemy and all of that. So, you know, what it is that you're unique here, your unique talent, your unique gift. It's something big, but you might have a fear here that it's not going to be widely accepted. The world's not going to accept you, but you know, charms and cards are saying something different, right? Take a risk on self, as they give us the playing cards, right? Let's go play blackjack. Take the risk on self. Put the money on yourself. This is also a niche community. When I get this card, this means a select or smaller network within your network, right? So a very specific interest community, interest-based or talent-based. Maybe that's what this is. You know, we had the Western medicine, naturopathics, dietitians, metaphysics, right? These are all specific communities, but smaller, kind of tightly connected people within the larger modern world, right? Within the larger landscape. Maybe that's all these people here that you're going to meet, right? This community that is literally right in front of you, right? She just has to look up. This fairy just has to look up and be like, oh yeah, I'm part of this group. You know, I'm part of this community. Hey, I'm a self-starter. Hi, I'm new here. You know, and they're going to come welcome you and help you out. You know, maybe that's your expert. Or the opposite. You know, maybe they're going to recognize your talent and be like, whoa, we've been waiting for someone like you. We need someone like you. Because we have dominating figure. You know, when you take a bet on self, you become this important person. You become this expert. You become this authoritative figure. You know, you're going to get that balance. You're going to have the yin to your yang. Look, you got that little hole. As soon as you bet on yourself, as soon as you take the risk on yourself, I bet you that fills. I'm going to pull these two charms into this grouping here. And for whatever reason, these cards are going to be associated with this grouping. So, we had travel, motorized travel. So that's like road trips, but anything mechanical, right? Going back into a past life. So back in this time, so that would have been like the carts, the first introduction of carts or boats, right? International trade. So traveling on the waters, being able to travel on newly formed roads and bridges. So there's a magical moment, a magical opportunity that's going to come up in this lifetime related to travel, as it relates to you taking a risk. Maybe travel will become opportunities, right? Traveling the world, traveling international routes to show off your talent, to speak to others, to connect with this group of like-minded people. But there's magic in this. There's going to be some magical moments, some magical surprises here waiting for you in your travels. Boats, planes, cars, trains, that's all that means. So any form of travel today. And then we had the indulgence here. And it was sitting on Black Death. That just means a long period. So maybe you had a long period of not betting on yourself. You kind of indulged in the, I don't knows, right? The lack of courage. And that could have been played on your health a bit. Or you could have had some like health struggles. But I feel more this is like a shift in you. Like holding yourself back, right? You know, going from hating your stripes. Oh my God, I hate how I look. I hate how I do this. I'm no good at that. And you flipped it to, I love my stripes. Look at me. I'm going to do the catwalk. Right? I'm going to stand and let everybody see me and receive me. I'm going to show off. So you have this like sudden flip-flop after a long period of not betting on self, not believing in self, and then you just flip and come out with confidence here. So in your past life, you probably, let's see if you did that. Yeah, look at you shining the light on you. And then look at all the opportunities. Look at all the opportunities that showed up, right? So I think in this past life, if you had done this, right? If you had been willing to actually go out and be a traveler, to sell your wares instead of dreaming about it, look at all the opportunities you unlock. So please have faith in yourself, bet on yourself, because you're about to be seen. You know, who knows? You might be on TV or something, world renowned, right? Spotlight on you, walking the red carpet. Maybe that's why I said you were strutting here, strutting down the catwalk. Okay, so let's wrap up here. What are the final messages? So we have status. I was just talking about sort of celebrity status. So that's something that's new and possible and available to you. So if fame recognition is something you want. Group 2 had recognition. So if you were drawn to card number 2, go check that out. It did talk about recognition and status. But there's status here for you to unlock. just going up the next tier, wherever that means for you. So on discovery, we have a social group. Well, we already saw that down there, but look how big the group is now. You're discovering that, maybe the group isn't as small as I thought. You're discovering that more people around the world are like you. People are discovering you because now they can see you. So your social group is getting quite large here, but through discovery. That's interesting language. People are finding you and you are finding them. So it's not like a very clear cut, I know exactly where to go to connect with these people. But there's a lot of support there. The more you connect, the more supporters there are, more like-minded kind of believers in you, right? You believe in yourself, and now there's a whole bunch of believers in you. Just kind of sitting on the green, wasn't really touching anything. But there's influence here. A heads up about negative influences. It's sitting on green, so just protect health and wealth. That's all this means, right? Especially as fame, status increases, make sure you're watchful, right? Protect yourself, health, wealth. That's all that means. Yeah, the lion wasn't really, he was just kind of on the green as well. So this is just confidence, courage, right? Authenticity, believing in yourself. And when you do that, what happens? You attract health and wealth. So believe in yourself and you're going to attract health and wealth. And then and as your social group kind of grows, just be watchful of some poor influences, or protect your health and wealth, that you're gaining it, so it's yours. Yeah, look at this, right? Look at this period, and then we have this distance, which we saw, length of time, and then wham. So I don't know if you all of us have different periods. So this could have been like a 3-year, a 3-year, 5-year, 10-year, right? You might have had a 10, 15-year period of similar lifestyle, nothing really changing, same struggles. And then wham, look at this coming in and just blowing everything up. Your home just blows up. Look at the foundation. Look at the solid footing, roof over your head. Everything changes, right? This comes down and everything changes. Belief in self, everything changes. Risk on self, everything changes. Looking up and realizing there's a community out there for you, everything changes. So I hope you do take a bet on yourself here. Group number 3. Back in this time you didn't. You dreamt about who you were. You daydreamed and you kind of lived in your dreams, fantasized about the life and the person that you wanted to be and live. But in this lifetime, you're not just going to dream, because you've already made the decision. Nope, I'm going to bet on myself. You started to, and then it looks like you got doubtful, and the angel is telling you, no, don't get doubtful, right? You got doubtful here. Don't get doubtful. They're going to see you. They're going to find you. Opportunity is going to come knocking. You might travel the world, and you're going to have a major kind of lifestyle blow up here. So see you guys at the next past life reading, and hopefully you got some answers here to help you through your current struggle.